What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the live stream. So as you can see, Rick's with me tonight.
I've made it tonight.
And he's a rookie, so we got to move his glass out of the frame so it's all beautiful and nice. So what's happening? Thanks for showing up. So
glad you guys are joining.
Yeah. And by the way, let us know how the audio sounds. We've got a new soundboard that we're tweaking and dialing in and everything. And Andrew, I do have Top Chat on. Thank you for catching me on that, but I actually thought about that while we were sitting here watching the screen roll. I was like, yeah, I need to flip that over. So I'm gonna get into the comments really quick. So we got Richard. As always, Richard's one of the first guys that comments on every live stream.
That's his goal?
I guess so, because he's always the first one. So, hey Bryan, how are things going? What's new with you lately? Going to get 10 to 13 inches of snow on Wednesday and Thursday. It's a good time. You need to get out and play in a loader and push.
We can make that happen.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Ryan from Insights is seeking help.
Does he have a loader?
It's the 21F case. It's the pushing machine. And you could so get many angles.
It's true.
But you're going to have to put in 24 or 5 hours.
And that's the problem. That's the problem right there.
We could strategically rotate. Like I could work 14. And then you could work 16.
I was gonna say 10.
Yeah, you gotta be there for
well, you can come finish it out.
Why would I come back for 4 hours?
Because I don't want to do more than 10 hours.
This isn't union. This is non-union snow removal. So you see what we got here?
This is the dynamic that happens every day on the job site. But anyway, to answer your question, what do we got going on? We got a crap load of stuff going on. So obviously we're continuing to do all of our YouTube content. On top of that, we actually just had a call. The reason Rick's over here this evening, we just had a call with a guy that is from Washington. He's getting ready to build a storage facility in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, and he's just trying to get the lay of the land. He's never done one of these before. He doesn't understand the dirt side of things, and so we kind of did some consulting, and there's a chance we may be going to North Carolina in the summer to develop a storage facility.
Clearing some land, doing some dirt work, pipe.
Yeah, a little bit of everything on that one. Yeah. So there's a decent chance we may go out to Minnesota at some point this summer and see Carson Shifsky again. Like, who knows what's going to happen. So there's a ton of stuff in the air there. There's a possibility that we might be starting a new podcast, which is going to be geared towards equipment manufacturers and dealerships. Excuse me. That's not taking Sweat and Grime away. Sweat and Grime is here to stay. We're never going to let anything happen to Sweat and Grime. This will just be an additional podcast that we do potentially. So we're exploring that. What else? We got a bunch of dirt jobs coming up.
There's a lot of things that are in the books, honestly. And just a fair touch, why you don't see me that much, even though you might ask for my presence once in a blue moon, I hold Bryan out all the fucking time. So, what you guys don't see is a lot of the front work that I'm always constantly doing for bidding jobs and staging jobs. I call Bryan my other half. I talk to him 5-8 times a day. You guys see the back door of what the end results are for the jobs and then what Bryan do, and we're strategically trying to get Isaac in place a little bit more.
Yep.
Showcasing really start to finish jobs with, obviously we had some pretty good response on video Isaac dropped.
Yep.
Showcasing it more, but getting more involved. But it takes so much work up front to get the work to come through and content. We're not just getting, off the wall jobs. We're getting legit, serious jobs from customers, existing people, new builders. And then Bryan's obviously getting the footage, but it takes so much work from myself and then Bryan to put the show on for everybody that does kind of follow. But there's a lot of things in the pipeline coming.
Yeah.
We're probably about 3 months out right now on work, from new builds, more land clears. We're getting ready to do a retaining wall, which is probably 3 or 4 semi-loads of wall.
Yep.
That ain't gonna hit probably till summertime, but we'll be out there tomorrow actually prepping, taking the measurements. I mean, there's a lot of technical stuff that's gonna be coming up, and not so much gravy train of just doing a little bit of underbrush removal, sidewalk, driveway grading. So we got quite a bit of stuff in the pipeline kind of coming, and then just the excitement from other contractors and other people out there that's inquiring and that we're going to be working with in the future. So And the season hasn't even started. Like come April, it's like Donkey Kong for a month and a half, building work, bidding like crazy. So that's what I'll be doing nonstop for like month and a half straight, just bidding work. And I'll be like, hey Brian, we got to roll. We got to go start doing some jobs. And it's not no 1 or 2 days. It's 7 days a week for them in to get caught up. But that's how it is here in Michigan when we work 7-8 months is our season. So other than that, it's plowing snow right now.
Yeah, so to kind of go back to the original comment, we are getting anywhere from, they're calling 12 inches to 2 feet of snow on, let's see here, Wednesday night transition, or no,
It's
I'm
a
sorry,
two-day event.
yeah, Wednesday into
morning to
Thursday.
Thursday night.
And so, so yeah, there's the potential that I may go out and do some snow removal. I don't know if I'm going to get involved in the actual snow removal. I'll definitely go out and see if I can't get some footage of snow removal, regardless of whether or not I'm sitting in the seat. So there is that aspect. But yeah, we've just got so many irons in the fire right now. And like Rick said, what you guys see is kind of all of the video side, where Rick has already done all of the prep work as far as talking to the customer, getting the bid put together, submitting that. You know, like on this retaining wall, there's another factor where we actually have to go in and Rick's got to design the wall and work with an actual engineer.
Stop right there. We actually have to pull a GIS map because there's no plot plan.
Yeah.
To design that wall and actually get realistic numbers and measurements.
Yeah.
And then make it jive with the septic field that's not on file.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's some legwork.
So there's a lot of legwork. And so we are working with Isaac to start to document a little more of that process so that you guys can kind of see the before we hit the job process. But in the way that Isaac has been doing, you've been noticing probably in the last, I don't know, he's been editing now for about 3 solid months. Everything on my channel is funneling through Isaac now, just to free up more of my time. And so just in that kind of characteristic style that Isaac has, where it's going to be kind of a little more of that documentary type feel, we're going to start hitting more of the actual bid process, what Rick and I do. I won't show actual numbers. We'll probably blur out financial information, but at the same time, giving you guys an idea of us, you know, doing either a Skype call or in person with Excel open, going over our numbers and talking about what our true costs are going to be, and we need to account for this and we need to account for that. We want to start to transition a little bit to not, like, that's not going to be full time, but just to show a little more of that, give you a little more behind the scenes. So we've got that going on, just all sorts of stuff. So anyway, thanks again, Richard. Appreciate you being here. Bacon, good to see you, man. Started to apply for operator adjacent jobs in the Milwaukee area, hoping to land something as a material handler by the time my trucking contract is up. Tired of delaying. Dude, that's awesome, man. Congratulations for actually taking the plunge, and enjoy your loader work there on Farm Sim 22. I'm down for some loader work there. We got Andrew Ruggiero. I did turn top chat on. We addressed that already. God Family Country. Is it Tom? I can't remember. Is it Tom? What's happening from Southwest Florida? We just came back from Orlando last week, or the week before. It was the week before.
You have like no notes to remember who we're talking to. You are just phenomenal.
Right here.
So I'm going off like, what's that, Bacon Z?
Yeah,
name?
Bacon. Yeah, I just call him Bacon. Yeah.
You're just like,
I'm on it. Well, see, this is the beauty of the live stream, is I've got so many regulars that are in here all the time. Like, I know a lot of these guys by name just because they're in here. Like Ambitious Dirtwork down here, that's Jay. I just know it because I keep asking him, and it's sticking with me slowly but surely.
Nice.
So, but yeah, we were in Orlando for AED Summit 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we've been back for a full week now, and crazy amount of stuff coming off of that. That's been a whirlwind. So yeah, we were just down there, and we do miss your weather because you guys aren't about to get 2 feet of snow.
Yeah, that was nice. It was like 65 the one night, out on the water.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. We were outside. We made a point while all the Floridians were coming inside to eat. We were like, no, we want the table outside, please, because it is warm.
You know what's great is like when we hit the airstrip there, and then we landed and we got off to see the people that were coming from Michigan that were pale white, like ghosts.
Yeah.
And then the ones that were coming back right from Florida going to Michigan, they were just burnt like lobsters.
Yes, they were just beet red.
They're getting ready to put the aloe all over their body where it's going to be so cold, and then in about 2.5 hours, they're going to be hitting -7-degree weather.
Yes. So yeah, it was an awesome trip. Like I said, we've had a ton of fallout from that, like in a good way. It's the stuff that's happening has been
We've
phenomenal.
been rubbing elbows for about 5 to 7 days a week. Just on the podcast, Diesel and Iron, on all cylinders banging on the construction side of it. I mean, Bryan's been putting in some serious amount of time non-stop on the computer, phone calls, putting up with me, dragging them around, doing jobs in between. Like, I even forgot to invoice the clients rest of the payment for the land clearing job.
Really?
And I come back and I'm like, hey, what the F, man? I wasn't necessarily those terms. I was a lot formal and nicer, but I was like, I have no money in the bank or the mailbox.
Yeah.
And I'm looking through all my invoices and crap, and I'm like, we were in such a hustle to get on the plane. We finished, and like 2 days later, we were gone.
Yeah.
So I had to pack, go buy a sports coat that I don't even dress up for.
Yeah, we were all dressed up. If you guys didn't see that over on AED Network, just go, do a YouTube search for AED Network, and you'll see our live streams. We're in sport coats, like button-up shirts. Like
this is
total
my
opposite.
entire hair.
This is what we normally wear. We were all snazzed up for that
It's
one.
been a rocket ship, though. God, back in the day when I first met Bryan sitting at Tim Hortons drinking coffee to almost 4.5 years now of grinding. So it's been a rocket ship. But man, what the response that you guys are probably in for the whole podcast, and then the people and the communication that we met with all the manufacturers and the interest that we're going to be showcasing. We'll keep that kind of on the back burner, but what we're going to be showcasing on the job sites with brand new equipment is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, so we've got some manufacturers that are wanting to send us equipment to actually put through its paces. One of the things we're going to be adding to the channel is probably once a month, once every couple months. Excuse me. We're actually going to be putting together equipment review videos, kind of like a Top Gear style, where we actually take them out, we get some really nice cinematic footage, we get some really sweet shots, we talk about some of the characteristics of the machine that the manufacturer really wants us to highlight and showcase, and then we literally spend 3 or 4 days putting it through its paces as contractors, and then at the end of it, we really give you guys an honest, realistic, unbiased review of the piece of equipment. So we thought we were really gonna have to try to get those relationships. Turns out the manufacturers, like, they were excited about it. They jumped on it. So we've got like 5 of them already that are willing to send equipment. So that's super exciting. So let's see here. Brandon Culpepper. You remember Brandon?
Yeah, how can you not remember Brandon?
So I did not picture Rick to look like that.
He wants me naked.
Well, that's
all I
true.
can remember is
That's
Brandon
true.
was the racism cards that man played that were freaking hilarious. If you guys haven't listened to that podcast.
If you haven't gone, listen to Sweat and Grime. Listen to what it's like to work at an industrial sawmill, I think is the name of the episode with Brandon. Go listen to that episode. It is absolutely hysterical, and we cannot repeat any of it here on the live stream.
I just remember fishnets and snakes.
Yes.
You know, then all the vocabulary coming from Brandon.
Yes,
was like,
it was so
we were
good.
just speechless and laughing.
Was,
so Brandon, you nailed it. Totally unexpected what I thought we were even getting into, and what a blast, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. So we got a Chapter Master Vermilion. I can tell you right now, I've never seen you before, but thanks for being in the live stream. We do appreciate it.
I thought it was of a million. Like, no, I thought we were talking money here.
Vermilion.
Oh,
we got Luciano. You want to buy merch? That's what I just pinned up in the comments. There is the store for Diesel and Iron. All the merch. Head over there, buy to your heart's content. For whatever reason, merch has slowed way down. I don't know why you guys aren't buying merch, because it's awesome. I'm not so awesome that neither one of us are wearing it. We're doing a terrible job of selling ourselves here, aren't we?
Yeah, but this is authentic.
Yeah, this is authentic. Yeah, absolutely. Andrew, if you were not familiar, so I'm going to tell you right now, Andrew, the fact that you say who the F is Rick tells me that you're not watching enough of my vlog content.
No.
Because Rick is all over the vlog stuff. He's just not in the down and dirties and everything. So Rick is all these dirt jobs I work on, and I'm constantly like, oh yeah, Rick's over there. Oh yeah, Rick's over here. This is Rick. This is the guy I'm always referencing, the other half on the job who's always doing stuff. So what we did, we met, you said 4 years ago? Has it been 4 years?
4 years.
So 4 years ago, when I was selling case
He's
equipment.
still working off the service agreement.
That's right.
So this is why
I bent Rick over the table is what happened. I sold him his skid steer, all of his attachments.
Oh, never mind. He's not on here.
Who?
I was going to go with the mechanic with the Vaseline.
Oh yeah, Colton's not on here.
Colton's not here.
But yeah, so basically Rick came in, he was looking for a skid steer. We ended up working out a deal on a skid and 4 attachments, I think.
Yeah, I bought 4 right away off the bat with you.
And so we just kind of fell into a friendship after that, which happens a lot of times on the sales side. When you do a nice job of taking care of your people, you just kind of naturally form friendships, especially when I came from the dirt world. I can really relate. And so when COVID hit and I got shit canned, he and I started working together, and I was telling him about what I wanted to do with the YouTube channel. And he was like, well, I need some help on the job. Why don't you come operate and you can take all your footage? Because he still didn't understand what I was kind of trying to accomplish with all this. And so what it's turned into is kind of an informal partnership. So Rick owns Anything Outdoors, which is the dirt company that we do all of our dirt work through. And I have Diesel and Iron Productions, which is the company that does all of the video production work, all of the result that you see, along with the podcast and everything. And so we kind of work in tandem. We help bid jobs together. Rick primarily does most of the bidding, but we've done several jobs where we've actually bid them together. Like this consulting call we were talking about this evening, that's all stuff that we're doing jointly together. And then when we get out on the job site, you guys don't see Rick all the time, but Rick is actively helping me set up shots, and we're working to get the right angles because we think something will be cool. Or if Rick's about to drop a big monster tree across the job, he'll call me up and tell me bring the camera over. Like, Rick is very active, but more in a background role on the video side, which we're slowly getting him on video.
I'm the guy that will get you the phenomenal shot without dying.
Yeah, without
so if you're
killing
getting
you,
something really close, that's typically I was in the scene.
Yeah.
Bryan was doing the talking, getting all the credit in the machine.
Absolutely.
So
I'm Hollywood,
you know,
and he's kind of the stagehand.
And I don't mind, because at the end of the day, we're doing it. We're having a blast. I got a business to run. We're constantly crunching numbers. He's a phenomenal operator. He shows up, gets everything that he wants, and what seems like a really long video isn't really such a long video. He'll strategically stop and do some filming here and there, and it's typically when I'm changing something out or we do have something actively coming on. So we're like a yin and yang kind of out there on the job. We could read each other real well, but at the end of the day, it's all about production and doing it safely where we both go home. There's been some times we haven't actually filmed because some of the job was a little sketchy and it wasn't really worth the headache. So other than that, though, it takes a lot of time, a lot of work, and I'm always around, whether I'm there before or after or during. And it might not be until Bryan's camera died and then I show up on a job and all the crazy crap happens. So it's hit and miss.
And we are starting to get Rick more on camera. There's been a couple times now. I don't think the videos have gone up yet, but we've got him. We've stuck the GoPro in the cab with Rick a couple times. We just did an interview with one of the guys that works with us. That was actually Rick put that whole thing together. I literally set the cameras up where
he
Rick
called me out because you guys. I'm camera shy, so what you guys
I told him you guys wanted to see him on camera more, and he answered. He's gonna be. We got interviews coming up with Rick, and we got all sorts of stuff. Rick's gonna be on camera.
We've strategically been working together a while, and it's just one of those things. Like, Bryan's up every night, Sunday. He will pack his pegs tomorrow morning and walk out the door at 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm in bed by 9:30 typically because I do all my own wrenching. I do all my own bidding most of the time. All the moves, like I could go move a couple pieces of machine. It takes all day. Typically take my wife. I'll text or call Bryan, what's going on, and it sets up. That's kind of part of the reason I don't come over all the time and actually talk and interact as much as I would. I love doing this stuff with Bryan. I'm working 6 to 7 days a week, even though I call Bryan and he shows up maybe on the Monday or Tuesday you guys see. He packs his bags up like a champ, comes out, but I'm already
Rick's already been out there moving.
gone all day long.
He's the logistics side. He moves all the equipment around. He tees everything up. He gets all the materials on site. That's generally what he's doing, while I get to sit here in front of the camera and chat with you guys. So that's kind of the partnership we have going on. Is I kind of do this side, he does this side, and we meet in the middle. So it's been an interesting dynamic that we've got going on. So anyway, yeah, this is Rick.
Yeah. Hey guys.
Let's see here. Rick is from the north. He is from
Born and
Michigan.
raised
Yeah,
here,
born and raised. So, Chapter Master Vermilion. Are you guys still doing Down and Dirties every Monday, man? For the foreseeable future, Down and Dirties will continue to be one of the big drivers of this channel. Simply because at the core of everything Rick and I are doing, it's not about the money, it's not about the views, it's about getting guys into the trade and then teaching those people. And the Down and Dirty series is our tool for teaching. The vlogs are a great addition to that because it kind of gives you that on-the-job type training and that on-the-job feel. But really, the Down and Dirties, that's our core teaching element of this channel. So yeah, Down and Dirties are not going anywhere.
Well, and it also kind of started driving too is your interest and my interest. We were so passionate about getting guys into the trade because the lack of help, you can't find it or teach it.
Right.
So that was Bryan's vision the whole time when he first started this. It wasn't to become this YouTube sensation or overnight star. He actually had the passion and the drive to put this content out and record it. I couldn't understand what he was doing until I started following and understanding, having him around. It took this guy's passion for the trade to want to actually get the knowledge out. And once I started seeing it, I was hooked, and I kept telling Bryan, just keep going. I don't know what you're doing or what you're getting into, but just keep going. But this guy started it with a passion, and it's snowballed into where it's at now. And it's because of guys like you that ask these questions, that keep this guy up. Like, you wouldn't believe this guy's work ethic when it comes to the cameras and the filming. And it's always, hey, let's get this, let's schedule this. So we're always trying to look at other equipment, other guests, and try to get more entertaining stuff out there. But this just started right from the passion, and
Yeah.
that's really how you evolved.
Yeah. It's been an interesting road that I kind of started off with a direction in mind, and then as we've gone along, you just kind of get bumped and nudged in different directions, and we've somehow found ourselves here. And quite honestly, just with a lot of the fallout from what happened in Florida and some of the relationships that have come along even within the last 2 weeks, I really feel like we're about to round a corner in a number of different ways, whether it's Sweat and Grime here on the channel, relationships with some of the big manufacturers. We're really kind of at a turning point now. So it's been an adventure.
Well, and everything that we've been doing now, and just to go down the path that we're talking, you'll see more of us involved, Bryan and I together. Everything we doing that we thought we were so far and so separate apart, we're hooked to the hip because of everything that we're constantly doing. And I feel like the doors are opening to everything that's turning. This is only going to go bigger and stronger, and it's going to gain more content, more people, more subscribers, and we're going to be more of a platform that's honestly just honest and relatable material out there. So keep it up, guys. Keep coming. Hit the subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dennis, what's happening? Dozer Dennis, if you guys are not familiar with his channel, check him out. He's got a great channel. It's good to see you, Dennis. Glad you showed up. Andrew, Rick is kind of sexy.
I'm sexy and I know it.
Yeah, there it is. The self-confidence.
My wife's going to kill me. This is why I never come over here.
He always comes away with a giant head. So, let's see here. Sebastian. Weather needs to calm down if we want to work. Yeah, we're in the same boat. So Tuesday we're supposed to get rain. Wednesday we're getting the snowstorm. So that's Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday and Friday into Saturday we're supposed to be in like the low teens for our highs. It's great working weather. So we're totally with you. Yeah. And by the way, good to see you, Sebastian. It's been a while. I'm glad you're here. Brandon, hey, I think we need to have a chat about the dozer for our company. I think you think we need the Komatsu 575A, huh? That's what we need. You seen that monster? It's the biggest production dozer out there. In fact,
if we could get it, I'd like to run it.
I don't even think it's still in production. Let me show you this thing.
Wow.
It's Komatsu You said that's a 575A.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's a mama. It's
Yeah.
an absolute mama. So yeah, I don't know about that one, Brandon, because I don't think they're in production anymore, if I recall. So parts are going to be difficult to find on something
You might
that
as
big.
well just put a blade like on a steam engine
It's it.
and put.
Yeah. Let's see here, Jay. How's it going? Hey, awesome, man. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Sebastian, mining dozer, biggest in the world or close to it. I'm fairly confident that is the biggest in the world. Oh, and Brandon just confirmed. Yes. Dennis just went over my equipment numbers last week of 2021. It makes me sick to my stomach, the money I lose mobilizing equipment. Any tips on making it more profitable?
Charge.
Yeah, I mean,
Charge. Mobilization is one of the biggest assets, and when you go talk to this customer and you talk to the builder, homeowner, and whether you're subcontracting, whatever, one of the biggest costs in this industry is mobilization. You got to charge for it. You call a big company, you call a rental company, you call a dealership, the truck that shows up has to get paid, and that truck has to make money. Just like semis, hauling dirt, material in, material out, people want to do this stuff next to nothing. We are in the race of let's spend the most freaking money and drive this market to the bottom. You can't do that. You won't be in business. I don't work for peanuts. You can't work for peanuts. Mobilization is part of my bid. It's a line item that's typically on there. Hauling material, you got to know your rates. You have to charge accordingly, because when something breaks down, a semi breaks down, you call a mechanic on the side of the road hauling an excavator or skid steer, whatever. It's stuck. And he tells you can't be out there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. First off, you're losing money.
Yep.
Sitting on the side of the road, whether it's you, hopefully not your driver that you're paying, and the dollars are going out, but typically they're hour and a half out. It's $125 just for them to show up. The mechanics around here now are fetching anywhere from $85 to $125, and if I was broke down, I'd be calling the mechanic that I'm paying $125, because obviously he should have a little more knowledge and skill.
One would hope.
Yeah, typically, right? And so that's all the stuff, the tires, the DOT pulling you over, writing tickets. You have to everything's got to be accounted for. The truck on the job, the machines moved. It's a huge burden that people don't pass on, and that's why you see a lot of people end up folding up. Is the trucking industry is one of the biggest parts of this asset of the dirt world, and tree removals, everything that nobody accounts for. So you can't afford your breakdowns. You can't afford your repairs, or paying the guys in the shop to do some of the wrenching, because you're not accounting for that man hour that needs to be built.
There's a whole other aspect to that too. Excuse me. That comes into kind of upgrading equipment and getting a little more current on the time sometimes. So Dennis, one of the things that comes to mind is you're running that older dozer. And don't get me wrong, it's an awesome machine. Those are tried and true. It's all paid off and everything, especially if you're kind of at a point from a maintenance standpoint, you're not pouring into it. That can be a great machine. But in all honesty, one of the ways that Rick and I save money on mobilization fees is we've got our skid steer as our base machine that we use, and it is the Swiss Army knife. How many attachments are you up to now?
12.
So 12 attachments for that skid steer. And the way we typically go approach a job is the skid steer is going to go on pretty much every job, and we take whatever attachments we need for that job, and that's one run with the trailer. And then we're going to rent whatever size excavator we need for that particular job. So as you guys have seen on the channel, we get into a diverse range of projects. We've had projects where we've got a 210 out there because we're having to knock down some big trees, like this last land clear we did. Or that one in Grand Blanc that we did where we turned that big old GM lot into a parking lot.
Oh, I don't miss that.
That was terrible. But then we get on the opposite end of the spectrum, and we've done some small driveway culverts and stuff where it doesn't make sense to bring something out that big. So we'll go rent a little E35 or a little Cabelco SK35. And then we've kind of got some mid jobs like this retaining wall project. We've done one in the past. We're about to do another one. We'll rent an 8-ton machine. So kind of having that flexibility to where you don't have to have a bunch of back and forth trips, and especially if you can kind of plan and I know this is hard in the dirt world because everything's always shifting under us, but if you can kind of plan what your jobs are coming up, you can strategically stage that equipment. So instead of it being to the shop, to the job, to the shop, to the job,
Yep.
instead you can kind of leapfrog and go, okay, from this job, I only have to go 5 miles down the road to this job, and I'm not going to need this attachment for 3 or 4 days. I'm not going to be on that job, but I can go drop it on that job somewhere where it's not going to get stolen. It's not in danger of getting taken, but we can start staging equipment there, and it's actually saving me money from doing all these round trips to the shop and everything.
Yep.
So just a little bit of planning, and then like I said, also sometimes it is worth it. Even though you got the older equipment, it's paid off. Sometimes it is nice to modernize your fleet so that it gives you the flexibility that you can have one machine that's capable of doing 4, 5, 6 different things, rather than having to bring out the skid steer and then the dozer and then the excavator and then this. It's no, we got one machine here that's knocking out 90%. Okay, maybe I have to bring in a little mini excavator.
Well, and to touch on that whole topic there, I had to think about how I was going to get this out for a second. When you're renting a machine or buying a machine, the payment isn't really that much of a difference, right? So if you go do a job, for example, and let's just throw a quick number out of $5,000 to rent a machine for the month, or to buy a machine would be $5,000, and to rent it would be like $6,500 or $6,000 for the month. If you can't afford to lose that little bit of money on a rental, yeah, it's a burden. It's like, oh man, I'm losing $1,000 or $1,500 on this big job for the month. Yeah, you're right, but you don't have the maintenance, you don't have the overhead. I don't want to say you could pound it and park it, in a rude way, but you could pound and park it, the equipment. You could turn around, it breaks, it's theirs. You call them, they come out with their technician, they serve it. I still bid the job the same, whether I own everything or I don't own everything. It doesn't matter, because you got to learn to be as efficient as you possibly can with what you're doing. And a one size doesn't fit all. I'm constantly looking at an excavator to buy. I'm constantly looking at excavators to rent. And it's really dependent on how much volume you have, how much this thing is going to work. And honestly, the projects that I do, it's not a one size fit all. I would have 3 excavators sitting out there at all times that if I bought new, wouldn't be making money.
Yeah.
If I bought used, I would have had to write a check outright or financed it, right? So I still have the race against the banker kind of attitude, but it doesn't fit all. So you have to start specializing in what you do. Like if I chased a builder and I was doing nothing but residential sewers and basements, I probably would really lean pretty hard towards buying an excavator.
Yeah.
But it'd have to be working. You have to be doing 2-3 sewers a day, a basement or 2, loading truck. Like it would have to work nonstop. But to just buy a machine to go out and dig a couple holes here and maybe clear some land, it doesn't fit all, because I can't take like a 200 size excavator and throw it in someone's backyard for a retaining wall that I'm going to spend a month on.
Right.
It's not going to be feasible. So those are the things that you got to ask yourself. Being paid for is phenomenal, but sometimes having the newer equipment with the productivity and the capabilities that they have, it's hard to go back.
Yeah. So hope that answers a little bit of your question, Dennis. I hope that helps a little bit.
I mean, you could go down these holes so deep, it's not even funny.
That's a whole topic that you could spend a whole evening on. But Jay should get Isaac on the podcast, see his background a little more, and speak on the next episode live chat. So that is in the plans. The reason we haven't done it yet is because Isaac is actually going to start working with Rick and I as a laborer this coming season, when we kind of fire back up for the season and we're not in the winter months of being slow. And so I've been holding off on that because I want to wait until he's worked with us a little bit, and that way we can kind of get his history, his background. We can talk about the videography side, but then we can also talk about it from the standpoint of what was it like coming in totally green, knowing absolutely nothing about the industry, and working with Rick and I, and what that experience has been. So we will get him on, but fair warning, it's probably gonna be another 4 or 5 months. I want to get some time under his belt.
I wish we could start him with like a green operator first, so before he came over.
That's true.
To someone that has a little experience, to be like, wow, that guy made me shovel my ass off. And you guys, I'm bored doing nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and Jay said that it looks like you had a fatty before we went live. In Rick's defense, it's because right here, literally right out of frame, is a giant, what is that, probably 2 foot, 2.5 foot across,
2.5 foot
light shining right in our eyes, which is why
I should
most
be
of the
sitting
time,
there with sunglasses.
yeah,
on,
most of the time, that's why every night we do these live streams, we both look like we're high, and I look like I'm high generally too. It's because you got this light blaring you right in the face, and it really makes your eyes water.
Now, what about 8 a.m. in the morning?
8 a.m. in the morning,
that-
it looks
is that
like I got a
still-
hangover.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if that was still affecting your eyes.
Yeah, that's right. Brandon, what are we drinking? Water. Tonight,
Water.
we're just water. I forgot to hit the liquor store and pick something up for tonight, so unfortunately, we're just doing water tonight. So, let's see here. Matt is Dignation21. He's actually got a channel. Started the live stream without you. He's so offended. You know, Matt, I'm sorry. We called. You didn't pick up. It's not my fault.
It starts 7:30 every Sunday.
Yeah, 7:30. He should know, right?
We started 7:30 this Sunday.
Yep.
He wants a refund.
Yeah, because that's a
rude.
great point, Matt. You knew it was 7:30. You knew.
And you got Moan on.
That's true. I even told. I even had it in the preview. It was live with
did you?
Bryan and Rick.
Oh,
yeah.
see, I feel like we should be getting paid for.
Yeah, well, Matt, that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave
rude.
you a negative review as a viewer. How is that?
Now when does Matt do his live streams?
Great question, Matt.
Matt?
Come on, throw down, buddy.
I mean, we could do like a
He's
Zoom
actually
call right now?
well, I was gonna say he's been on here with the Zoom call before. So we've done that.
All
Let's see here. Choo. Nope. Read the fine print. Let's see here. What's up, Bryan? How's it going? It's going awesome, Matt. Thanks for hanging out. Phil's my man from Australia.
I've been to Australia. Where you at? I landed in Sydney. Went and seen the crocodile guy that died. Steve Irwin.
Crocodile Dundee.
No, Steve Irwin, the guy that died from the
Yeah, Stingray.
Stingray. Yeah. Yeah, I went there then to New Zealand, and that's a whole different podcast and
We'll
Diesel
get
and
there.
Iron.
Yeah, we'll get there. But what's up, Phil? Good to see you, my man.
Yeah.
Let's see here. T12 CAC per gamer. No, that's not right. I'm sure that's some sort of like one of those. It stands for letters. I don't know. I'm sorry. Gamer. We're just gonna go with gamer.
Gamer.
Do you enjoy forestry mulching? I'll let you answer that, Rick.
You know, the first week is fun. After that comes a job.
Yeah.
I enjoy certain aspects of the versatility that I do and that Bryan does with me. I like to do multiple different things because if I do one thing too long, it's like watching paint dry. So yeah, I do enjoy it. The homeowners and builders, all of them, they enjoy it even more because they get to see the before and after kind of results since they haven't been around it. But after you cleared an acre to 20 acres, it's all the same.
Yeah, so I was gonna say it's awesome when you. Well, I will say this: anytime you go out on the job site, it doesn't matter how many times you've been on the job site. When you're outside the cab watching that forestry mulcher run, it never stops being impressive. It's always incredible to watch work. Now, when you're in the cab running it, like Rick just said, it's awesome for the first day. But really, once you get past that, it's just like anything else. I mean, you might as well be grading a lot as far as just the kind of mental fatigue of doing the job.
It's fun punching a hole in a job where you'll work half hour, so kick the head off, I'll put the tree shear on, kick the head off,
Change
throw a
pace.
stump grinder on. But when you put that thing on for a day, 2 days, a week, god dang, dude.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot more fun, like you say, outside the cab. Inside the cab,
It gets monotonous. It does. Now, I will say one thing about forestry mulching that I do really enjoy is at the end of the day, it's hard to compete with any other piece of equipment as far as the progress you see. Because even if you take a nice lot and you grade it with the skid steer, yeah, you can see you've done a lot for the day. But when you take a forested wooded lot and you spend 12 hours eating away at it with the Fecon head, and then you pull off the site, like, it is a night and day difference. And so that is one really satisfying aspect of forestry mulching.
well, you will get out and you will just turn around and be like, wow, I really kicked some butt today. But
well, because you are looking through such a small window when
all
you're
you see
actually
is
doing
brush
it.
and trees.
Yeah,
and
it is. You don't really appreciate what you're accomplishing until you step out of the cab at the end of the day and you're like, holy crap, that's a cleared lot. So
yeah.
Let's see here. Roger Coleman, Michigan born and raised here, hoping to get to Escanaba in about a year. It's pretty up there. It's
cold up there.
and there are a lot of freaking flies.
Black
Black flies. Oof, they're rough.
June, July, right?
Yeah, and it's the craziest
June,
thing.
July?
So I'd never been up there as
August
a
are
Texas
gone.
boy. I had never been up into the UP, and this past year driving out to Minnesota to work with Shifsky, we went through the UP, and as we're driving across the UP, I'm looking up above the trees, and there are these like black, like almost like clouds, and it turns out it was all black flies. It's unbelievable how like I thought it was just like, oh yeah, there's lots of no, there are swarms and swarms and swarms of black flies. It's insanity. So anyway,
you'll see the motorcycles pull over just to clean their windows.
Oh yeah, it was, well, our car,
just 'cause you'll run right
the
into
front of
it?
our car, we had to do like 4 or 5 car washes before we were really starting to plug through all the flies. It was insane.
And if you drive long enough and the sun just bakes them on,
It's terrible. Yeah,
you'll spend like $40 in the car wash stripping paint.
Exactly. Andrew, the whole reason I found your channel was because my extremely stupid laborers couldn't read a grade rod. Thank you for the video. Hey,
Right on.
you got it, man. Appreciate that. Jay, hands down, both are about the only guys that really try to get guys to take the blue collar route. 100%. Dude, it's what we're all about. It's what we're all about. The two of us are super passionate about this industry. We love what we do, and we want to share it with everybody. That's really what it is just get more people excited about it and sharing the knowledge, because that's the other aspect. No one wants to share knowledge in this industry.
Well, and I came up in the trenches. I mean, I started in this industry at a young age at 7 with my family and working non-stop. So when people, they want to come right into the seat, and you'll hear Bryan say it, they want to come right into the seat. And I'll tell you right now, if you're not a good laborer, you're not going to be a good operator, because you don't know what they're thinking. So it does work. I mean, a lot of these guys talk about trade schools, and there's nothing wrong with trade schools. You could go get a job right now laboring, and I know it might not be your most ideal thing, but you could stick it out for 2-3 years, learn so much, and get paid that when you get into the seat, you're only looking at hours of understanding. You already know what you're doing on the job and what's got to happen. So get in the machine, you start getting 20, 30, 40 hours on, you start becoming a decent operator. It might take you a little bit longer, but we were just talking this the other day with Totten.
Yep.
He was a superintendent. If you're around a job site long enough, whether you're laboring or you're truck driving or you're superintendent, if you're around a job site long enough, you will get drug into a machine.
Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm right there with you.
So, but yeah, Jay, we do appreciate the compliment. We really do. Brandon, does Rick feel the same way about JCB and backhoes that I do? What's your opinion on JCB and backhoes?
Just can't go broke, man. I hate them. I despise JCB. I despise backhoes. I'll take a skid mini all day.
Absolutely.
And I'll make 2 trips. I could put 2 operators in.
Yep.
Way more productive. Now it's got its time and its place, but I won't even buy one.
Yeah. And then Carson fires off. This is Carson Gibson, not Carson Shifsky.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know Carson Gibson. I haven't seen you in here before. Before I fire off a volley of insults your direction because of what you're saying, I do want to thank you for being a part of live stream tonight. We do appreciate it.
Now let's get to the bash.
Now, you son of a bitch with your JCB.
Now what JCB? Is he talking backhoe?
Apparently, he's talking about putting up
backhoe, because now, you know, it is a little intriguing, the skid steers with the boom arm and everything like that.
I'll tell you why I'm not intrigued by that.
I'm not intrigued that way, but it seems like it has its place.
You know what it is when Rick comes in on the job in his mini skirt, it's really awkward to kind of get into a skid steer the traditional way. But in the side entry skid steer, he doesn't have to do the upskirt.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, so we're okay. I'll give you that, JCB.
I mean, I could see in some scenarios that I would like to be able to just boom out a little bit further.
Oh yeah,
that would be nice.
That's true.
Now putting the attachments on that boom, I don't know about that.
Yeah, no.
What kind of JCBs do you got?
Yeah, so
backhoe, skid steer.
Give us a little
digger.
background on your JCB, because I'm telling you, every experience. So I sold equipment for 2.5 years. Let me just tell you, I'm not coming from a standpoint of just because it's not from America, I hate it. I sold equipment for 2.5 years, had multiple contractors in multiple industries that had JCB equipment, and about the only ones I found that really liked JCB were the farmers who didn't put it through heavy duty use cycles.
Yeah. They're washing it off every day.
Exactly. You know, they're lifting hay bales and they love the telescopic boom on it. They love the fact that they can do the side entry and they're not having to climb on it, because They're all old guys. Those are the sort of guys that really love JCB.
I feel like it's a farm piece of equipment around here.
At least in our neck of the woods, in America, that's really what it strikes me as. Because when it came to actual, we had a foundry, for instance, that had a couple of the side boom JCBs. They had cracked where the bucket plate held on to the mono boom. That had cracked and been rewelded half a dozen times. They had actually had on the mono boom side, on the rear wheel, the actual wheel had peeled away from the machine 3 separate times, and they had to bend. It's because that hydraulic motor and everything is bolted to the frame of the machine. That whole steel plate had cracked and pulled away. They had 2 or 3 times had to pull it back in and re-weld it.
You know, a question I got: do you think those even have a strong breakout force? The JCB, with the way the design is.
My personal opinion, not an engineer, the breakout force I wouldn't think would be totally effective, because if you think about the way the bucket goes in, and as you curl, you're kind of hinging there at the point that's on the ground. If there's your skid plate, and here's the bottom of your bucket, you're curling up against that. So I think from a breakout force, you'd be fine. Now, from a boom hoisting, from an actual lift capacity standpoint, that's where I feel like you'd suffer. But I haven't looked at their stats. But at the end of the day, there's no getting around the fact that you have a lopsided weight distribution on that machine. One side is definitively heavier. And so if you get into a soft spot on that side of the machine, guess what?
You know, it just occurred to me, I think the JCB skid steers, why they have the boom, is because they get stuck so much that's their only option, is to put it out and boom out and
that's
help
your
back
telescope
up. Where would you even get one fixed around here if you bought one? Is there even anyone that service one?
Yeah, I'm trying to think who the JCB dealer is around here. It might be either Alta or AIS.
Ever seen them?
I can't remember. I don't remember.
AIS might.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. Matt. Matt was the guy that we just railed on because he didn't show up on time. He said that backfired on him. Yeah. You're damn right it did. Yeah. Watch yourself, Matt.
So by the end of this, he's going to have a live stream set up.
That's right.
In a day,
and it's going to be way cooler than this whole setup I got.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot more technical stuff going on here.
It's all about the die-cast models. Heavy Equipment Operator 97, what's happening, man? Thanks for coming out and joining the live stream. We appreciate you being here. Northeast Ohio Farmer, hey, what did you think of last night's video I sent you? I'm gonna be honest, by the time my children went to sleep, it had been a long enough time, I totally forgot to watch that video. And in my defense, before you totally write me off as being an asshole, my mom was in town. She flew in. My kids were visiting them in Texas, so my mom flew in with the kids. She was here just for last night, and then she flew out this morning. I'm gonna go with that as a 100% foolproof excuse, and I apologize. I will try to watch that video. No, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It's not gonna happen tonight because we're gonna wrap up late. Tomorrow, I will watch your video, and then I will have a comment for you. I apologize. Gamer, what are your thoughts on debt or paying full for equipment? Do you want to take that one first?
There's good debt and bad debt, and it obviously comes down to a price point of machine. When it comes to equipment like compactors, stuff like that, I buy outright, $2 to $4 grand. And I'm just talking like labor equipment. When you start getting into attachments and you start getting into buying an excavator, skid steer, you know, if you wrap up all your capital in a machine, you have no operating money. You have nothing to really work on. And it really comes down to just your finances, where you're at with everything in whole as a business and personal life. Because sometimes you rob Peter to pay Paul, right? So sometimes it's easier to make a payment every month and keep that money working. Like, I constantly got to buy material. I constantly got to pay the mechanic. I gotta pay the guys. And it's just one of those things, like, you have to be able to spend that kind of money up front, your overhead and your cash flow. So sometimes it's easier to make that monthly payment. Now, as you start getting bigger, obviously you need to have something that's paid for over time. If it's sitting a lot, okay? If it's not out there making you money, it should be paid for. But the other terms of that is, if you buy something, sometimes it's not even, and this goes back to just going back to rental and buying, right? So just to touch on a business side aspect of it, to give you a quick twist on it, is let's say you buy a machine for $100,000, which is probably right around $2,000 a month, that does not sleep. Every 30 days you owe that $2,000 a month, plus insurance, operating costs, everything like that. After 5 years, if you depreciate it, you have no more depreciation, right? So then you have no more write-offs. Sometimes people get into, should I buy something outright, or should I rent? Every time you rent, it counts as a depreciation regardless of your lifetime. I only buy equipment outright if it makes sense on a job, to the point that it's going to be sitting a lot, it's a special unique machine, and I'm going to use it throughout the month and throughout the year. So it's really dependent on what you're getting into and specializing, but don't tie up your cash flow, because sometimes you miss an opportunity of like a pickup truck. I've run across a deal before where I needed to buy that truck, and I wasn't buying the truck outright, but I had the money to put down on a deposit where I could turn around and finance that. So I started using my credit more than I do my pocketbook, if that makes sense.
So I want to come back to this, but I want to hit Jesse down at the bottom of the comments. I did want to tell you, I apologize. I never got a chance to call you this last week. We have been playing like a monster game of catch up since we got back from Florida. I apologize. You are actually, if I had my notepad here with me, it's upstairs. You are at the top of my list for things to do in the next day or two. So expect a call from me maybe tomorrow. I apologize again. I feel bad about that, but there's legit reasons. So to go back to what Rick was saying, this is where a lot of dirt guys don't necessarily think about money the way you should think about money. People get so caught up in just the payment and just the money associated with that, or should I buy it outright? And instead, you have to start thinking about money as a resource that allows you to do things. And you need to make your money work and not cost you money.
Yes.
And what do I mean by that? So let's say that we're able to go out and we can buy a machine for $40,000, or we can finance it at 2%. Financing a machine at 2% is awesome. That's not costing you a lot of money, especially if you make additional payments when you get a big influx of cash, not paying it off totally, but you're staying ahead on your payments and everything, to where that interest is costing you almost nothing. Now, instead, if we had bought the machine outright, if we had spent $40,000, now let's say within a month of us spending that $40,000, tying it all up in one asset, now a month later, we've got all our money tied up. We have a job come along where we could go take it on, but we're gonna have to spend about $30,000 in material costs right up front. But guess what? We can't take on that job.
Oh.
Because we don't have that cash to go buy those initial materials that we need to get the job started. We don't have credit because, well, maybe you have credit, maybe you got credit somewhere. Hopefully you got credit somewhere, but for whatever reason, your money's all tied up in this one asset and it's unable to work for you, in other ways. Versus had we financed that machine at 2%, which isn't very much, now I've got $40,000. I can go chuck at materials. I've still got my machine that's costing me very little. Now I can go do this job that's going to make me $10,000, and I wouldn't have been able to take on that job had all of my money been wrapped up in that machine. Now, if that same machine is going to cost me 7% to finance, okay, well now we're talking a different story, because interest is starting to take a real hit now, and now we got to start thinking about that cost a little more. So just to kind of expound on what Rick was saying, there's a lot more to it than just it's good to finance or it's bad to finance. You should pay for it outright, or you should, there's a lot more complexity to that. There's a lot of variables in play, and it's all in how you run your business and how you think about money. I will say this. There are a lot of guys in this industry that are not super finance savvy, and if you're one of those individuals, I would highly encourage you to take the safe road. Don't go get yourself in a mountain of debt, because the other thing you have to remember about our industry is if the economy tanks tomorrow, all our work dries up overnight. And if you're now 100,000 deep in 3 pieces of equipment or 2 pieces of equipment, and now you have no work coming in, the bank's taking all your equipment back, and now you don't have anything to work with.
And you have no capital now to start any other
Yeah,
job.
exactly. So there's a lot of variables at play. There's a lot of things to think about before you jump to a decision, and there's not a right and wrong answer. It's really case dependent. So
Well, and just to touch that, you go buy a machine for 40,000 and it breaks next week.
yeah,
And you just spent all your capital. How are you gonna come out of this ahead?
Yeah.
And how are you gonna get back started? So there's other ways that you got to look at, and there's other ways you got to think of.
yep, absolutely. Roger, not ready for the black flies. I'll spend my time in North Country heavy equipment and run back under the bridge as fast as possible. Yeah, that's it. Let's see here. Burkle Dirtwork, thanks for the informative videos. Please make more. On it, man. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Jackson, there's Jackson.
Oh, hey Jackson.
What's happening, my man? And there's Isaac. What's happening,
There's
Isaac? We
Isaac.
just got through talking about you. Not even like, I don't know. Well, now it's been like 10, 15 minutes, but we were talking about you
just
earlier.
keeps going back 15 minutes.
That's right. Carson, paid 2 operators fuel and maintenance costs for light storm runs or footer jobs. You're backing up, losing money. 2015 Site Master, 2001. So let's look that up. 2015 Site Master.
2000.
Well, that's just the year. JCB, the 3CX. Oh, is that not the same?
That's
I don't know.
Richie specs. We're going to the auction site.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's a JCB back. Here's the deal.
It's a backhoe.
Here's the deal. Footer work, light storm. Okay, I could see a backhoe being kind of the catch-all machine. That's one of the rare instances I would say, okay, yeah, backhoe's got a place. But when it comes to any sort of like line production work, like if you're, depending on how many footers you're doing, I will dig circles around you with a mini excavator, having a skid steer haul my spoils away. It's just a fact. It's just a more productive setup. Now, are you paying a little more in fuel? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, if I'm paying 20% more in fuel, but I'm 60% more productive, the math still adds up to where I'm going this route. And that's where I fall with backhoes. Jack of all trades, master of none. It's just going to be more productive to use 2 machines. Unless you're in a small, tight job where it just makes sense to haul one machine, be in and out in 3 or 4 hours.
And a lot, you know, or just digging garage footings or whatever, and that's all you did, I could understand.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Let's see here. Brandon just Tourette's shouted out Alta. I think he was talking. I think that's when we were talking about who the JCB dealer was.
oh,
I think
gotcha.
that's what that is. Either that or it is Tourette's. I don't know,
Or
Brandon. You tell
Snake,
us.
or Snake just got out.
And then Matt said it's about to go down on the live stream. I do bring it on, man. I'll live stream you up if that's even a thing. I don't know. Carson, I still pull a sheep's foot behind my dozer for the same reason. Most contractors went away from this thinking because they're getting terrible help that can't work.
So
productively.
he obviously
Yeah.
doesn't believe in backblading, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see here, Matt. My son's favorite toy as my background would be more like it. There you go. That's it. Northeast Ohio Farmer has forgiven me for not watching his video. I feel better now. Brandline Gaming. Okay, that's Jesse. Already hit you up. No worries. Be on mainline. Oh, you're on mainline. What do you guys put in? Are you doing sanitary? Water? What you got going on? What are you digging?
You know,
Carson.
I just joined a app the other day on Facebook for sewer and water rats, and I was just watching going around all the United States. They were talking about someone put a shout out on like pay and where they're at, and there's some states that are just cranking out the money right now for sewer and water guys.
Yep.
So
Carson, why are you buying materials out of your own pocket? It depends on the job. Some jobs you don't get paid up front for those materials. The customer is not going to provide those materials. When possible, absolutely get the customer to pay for them. But on a lot of like commercial projects, you don't get paid for materials up front. You're going to pay for those materials and then you get reimbursed on the backside.
you get some money down and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
typically what that question is like, I understand why not let someone else. In theory, they do pay for it overall, but with the issues that we have now of getting materials, like when I'm ordering septic boxes, they're 2 months out.
Yep.
You know, when I'm buying material down the road, I strategically can't wait to take someone's money to go keep this job flowing and put it in place. So I'm actively keeping jobs coming in. On the finance side, I'm buying and stocking jobs and material. So we keep rolling. This has been the beast that has turned into versus before. You call up the supply house, they had it in stock, you go get it, you took, their money and ran. That it's a whole different game now.
Yep, absolutely. And a whole other aspect, just along those lines, is if you have a hiccup somewhere, if you have cash in the bank, you can make that payment for 2 or 3 months before you get yourself into trouble, versus if you have all your cash tied up and there's a hiccup, all of a sudden you have no money for bills. So, kind of along that same line of you're always juggling. Well, you guys know, I mean, obviously if you're in this business as a contractor, you know how it is, that you're always juggling resources to keep the train moving. So efix, what's happening? Good to see you, man. Lever Monkey, so Shane, what's happening? Good to see you. Hope you're
Shane, California.
That's Shane, California.
Nice.
So and Jay, what do you guys think of the next gen Mini X 304 305?
Cat.
Yep, I honestly don't know. I haven't run one yet, honestly.
Sounds
awesome. I want to play in one,
yeah,
but we haven't had a chance to yet. Jackson, good. We are good, man. Excuse me, pardon me. We're really good. We have a lot popping. There's a lot of stuff going on, and we're about to have your dad and his buddy on our podcast, so we got that going.
Why isn't Jackson one of the first guys to comment? I feel like Jackson, after the podcast,
we're competing,
would be number 1 or number 2 right up front.
We're competing with football or WrestleMania with Jackson.
Oh, there are some games going on, Jackson. I forgive you.
Yep, we're good. We're all good.
Who you root for the Super Bowl, Jackson? Let me know.
Yeah, let us know.
Because the Lions ain't cutting it.
Yeah, no. Shane just got done doing footings between I-beam pillars with a backhoe. Speaking of backhoe work,
rough.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's been much easier with the Mini. Just saying.
Dennis, check out my yeah, absolutely check out Dozer Dennis's channel, because he does have an old 305 E2 and it is awesome. Not old. He's got a new 305 E2 and it is awesome.
I feel like a backhoe is for the guy that won't make the transition of buying a semi or a pickup. You just drive job to job.
Yeah. Yeah. Carson, I do on all of my commercial projects. Do what? I don't remember what we were talking about when he said that. Maybe. I don't remember. No. Yeah, that's the guy we were talking to, but I don't remember what that was referring to. I don't know. Anyway, let's see here. We're talking wrestling.
This is like
stuff.
Fill in the blank.
Oh, dude,
I love it.
Yeah, it's
at least elaborate on what we're talking about.
Gamer, residential versus commercial. You take this one because I have to pee.
Personally, that's a good way to just see you guys. We're done.
Enjoy yourself.
We'll be back. Hey, by the way, cup of water. I honestly enjoy it both. Residential is a lot of fun. It's a lot more personable with the homeowners. I'm a licensed builder up here in Michigan, so I do a lot of contracting, not just with the excavating and land clearing. I really enjoy it. It is a pain in the butt when you start getting into like Novi around here and you're working with the city where you got to actually hit all the prints on like all your final grades, and they'll actually come out and check your swells and your pitch and everything. It's just such a pain in the cajubles. It sucks. I hate it. I try not to even go that way for work. They're so hard to work on in the residential. Commercial's a riot, and that's a whole different avenue. Some guys think they can make it in the trades in the residential side, then they get into the commercial side, and it's a whole different gear, man. These guys are running top notch. They're fast. They're really good at what they do, and time's money. Versus on the residential side, you got a couple backdoor avenues you could probably take if you're slipping up on some financing on the job. Commercial is pretty cut and dry unless you hit some change orders. I enjoy them both. A lot of my knowledge is commercial. I really do enjoy the commercial work with the bigger equipment, the more advanced crews than the residential crews these days. The help isn't the same as it used to be when I had my commercial crew and the guys I ran, but I enjoy it both. Residential and commercial overall, it's a night and day different. Like if you're gonna just do production homes for Pulte and just put in a house after a house after a house, that's commercial work to me. Residential, when you talk residential jobs, I enjoy the tight spaces. Nothing's the same. Opening up some land to create a house, but yet not clear cutting it, right? Making the house looks like it belongs there, building the retaining walls, snaking around, making Mother Nature and cleaning it up. I enjoy that aspect of it. The bigger equipment, doing the development side, who doesn't get a hard on for that, right? Commercial side, running D8, 9s, scrapers, big track hose. I mean, who doesn't like bigger equipment, right? So I enjoy it. I enjoy both. I can't really say one or the other. I'm gonna grab Brian's computer over here, and I'm gonna start scrolling for you guys. Oh, here we go. He's got like 2 screens up here, guys. Don't worry about it. I just got done doing footings. Oh yeah, we were there around Jackson. No, I did not. Hey Brian, I am jacking your computer, bud.
Uh-oh, what's happening?
We were just talking residential and commercial.
And then what happened? And then you touched the button?
No, I was jacking to scroll down because it was going up.
Oh, I got you. So, okay, here we go.
There.
Here we go. Here we go. Yep, right there.
So, I enjoy them both. Jackson, no, I did not. Or Brandon.
Oh, yeah, he's back and forth. Yeah. So we got Dustin. They got a next gen 308. It's a fantastic machine. The next gen machines look like they're pretty solid machines. I really do want the opportunity to play in them. Jay, do you guys know who Devin Dyer is? No. Nope. Jackson, Patriots are so far out, I don't really care.
Hey, Brady made it a little bit longer. I mean,
see, you know way more. I've never been a sports guy. I'm
Brady
sorry.
hair.
I'm just gonna own it. I don't care about sports. I've never cared.
Actually, our Drew Henson competed with Tom Brady coming out of Brighton at U of M here, so there was like a big crowd around here before you came to Michigan. We had like the elite, letting you know.
Well, okay.
And he was like the all-time 22 years setting record quarterback. You know, it's okay. He retired.
Way to live in
just to let
glory
you know.
days.
Yeah. I was just riding his shirt tails there for a minute.
There you go. Brandon wants to hear a stupid story about something I've done.
We interviewed a guy at a sawmill.
That's that was a nice play. Boom! That was a nice play. Suck on that, Brandon.
Yeah. To the next question. We just dove out of that one.
That
buddy.
was fantastic.
Is that like when you drop the mic?
That's it.
All
That's
right.
a mic drop right there. Boom.
Bam, baby. Team Bryan and Rick.
Yes, absolutely.
Well,
Who's your team, Rick? You have a team?
The Lions, actually, believe it or not. I cheer rooting them on as they suck ass so bad.
Yeah.
So, you know, I am like a off-season kind of cheer. Like I have all the hopes and dreams until the first playoff ends, and then the real season comes with like preseason. Like that's my time to be the fan. And as soon as this comes on, I just like cry.
Yeah.
It's over. I quit watching. I go back to work.
Yeah.
So
Dennis, bottom line, if a backhoe works for you and can make money, then do it. I don't think there's a one size fits all. So Dennis, at the end of the day, it's become a meme on this channel that backhoes are terrible and I hate them. At the end of the day, yes, I have noticed for whatever reason on YouTube, I don't know if it has anything to do with this or if it's just an ongoing conversation that we're a part of, but I have noticed on YouTube there has been a lot of like backhoe defensive videos and backhoe are terrible videos, and my honest opinion is 100% use the tool that makes you money. Frank Diggin' OK is a great example. That backhoe, he has mastered that machine. It makes him a shitload of money and he is fantastic at it. I'm not gonna argue with the guy that he needs to go out and change his setup and this is way better. Like he's got his thing and it's working for him, by all means. And that's why I think it would be so much fun to go out and do the dig off with him, is because I think there's a very high likelihood with Frank's mastery of that machine that he's going to beat the piss out of me in my mini excavator. I'm good with that. That's not going to be a hit to my pride. It's all in good fun. It's just giving everybody a hard time.
Well, there's a poor wall company out here that has
all backhoes,
Scott in them.
Yep.
And you won't pry a backhoe out of their hands.
Nope, they love their backhoes.
And we've had a conversation of skid steers and going with a mini digger. And these guys are so glued to the backhoes, and they're huge.
Yep.
They won't pry it out. So it's not a one size fits all.
It's not. And so all that to say, if anyone's taking any of this backhoe hate seriously, I do want to just take a minute and say it's all in jest. It's all in good fun. I'm not gonna sit here and say you have a shitty business model because you've based it off a backhoe. Like, it is what it is. Use what works for you. So, Rick, are you a gamer? That is laughable, Jackson. That
Gamer?
is so laughable.
I play like Candy Crush on the phone once in a while.
If you guys could see, like, my setup, I got a nice soundboard here with a bunch of knobs. I got a headphone amplifier.
Brian's
here
good
with
at
a bunch
turning
of-
all these knobs.
I got
guys.
all the techie stuff. If I ask Rick to check his email, I've got to help him through that process.
We're past that point now.
Well, so we got you checking the email, but you don't know which one you're checking.
No, not really. I got like 7 or 8.
Yes.
You know, but we're narrowing it down.
Yeah, Rick
It's kind
is-
of like Yahtzee. We gotta get down till we win. It's not a one size fit all. It's like my backhoe of the room, right?
We're working on Rick, but no, he is not a gamer at all.
No, I used to play games back in the day. I do not even game anymore. Like,
Yeah.
Brian be like playing some ridiculous game online, and you know, it's like, my kid left the guy on the train tracks. I gotta move him. I'm like, what are you playing? He's building some
Satisfactory
virtual world.
Satisfactory,
right?
guys.
Yeah.
You're building a factory.
How satisfactory is it playing a
awesome.
game?
Awesome.
I don't know.
It's very satisfactory.
I read blueprints for a living, and that's like intriguing to me. So I constantly got the specs open. I'm looking at code books. I don't play games.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Rick.
What do you got?
You hurt Brandon's feelings. He said, ouch, Rick, I'm done.
You know, Brandon, you dished it out.
That's true.
You dished it out.
He does. You do dish it out, Brandon.
This was just a follow-up from the podcast, bud. You did this to yourself.
Well, that and the real story is I don't do dumb things on the job. We are perfect in every way. We never have any flubs. We don't accidentally.
They just don't see how many takes it takes with the cameras to get the perfect shot. You don't see that.
Like, I've
it
never
might be 3 or 4 times.
I've never accidentally almost busted out the window on the 210 by
not at all.
sticking in with a branch hanging off of my bucket like I almost did.
Or you never were mulching when I was letting you mulch and I was going ahead of you and you knocked the tree down and almost killed me. You forgot where the horn button was. Like, you don't ever mess.
That doesn't ever happen.
No one does.
Never
this.
happens.
And it wasn't ever on camera.
Yeah.
Was it?
No.
Yeah.
Not
and
that
then
the world knows.
Then I'm yelling at Brian. He opens the window with the head running, and he's yelling as his tree's falling, and I can't hear him. I turn around and I see this tree fall about 15 feet from me.
See,
on the
he
other
makes
side
it
of the
sound like
trees.
he was close to peril. It wasn't that close.
I was 15 feet away from dying. Like, I don't know how close you guys got to get. Like, Brian's more like, you know, job site away is close. No, 15 foot's pretty close.
Like,
and
if
I
I'm
turn around,
6 feet, now you can complain. But
and I
15,
turn around,
come
and
on,
here's the
come
thing,
on.
guys. Here's the thing when it comes to operating. I am a pretty seasoned operator. I've been in it a long time. Brian's been in it a long time. Sometimes you come too complacent. Brian forgot where the effing horn was. The effing horn, the simplest thing that you're going to hit when you turn the machine on, fumbling around. He just forgot. Yep. So just become aware of what you're doing and the equipment you got. Just come complacent. Yeah, we mess up, dude. You wouldn't believe how much equipment I've destroyed. Not where it wouldn't run no more, but breaking windows, bending doors. I mean, that's called experience. I mean, close calls are life lessons.
Yep.
And I don't say, like, let's put this thing to the edge, just like where you destroy it, you know, and your employer comes out and fires you. Like, that was stupid trying to make a video, but I've put these things right to the max. I've almost rolled machines. I've almost killed somebody on accident, right? Because you don't really, surprise there, guys. You don't really learn the capabilities until you learn the capabilities of, like, putting it to the max. And then everything that you actually learned, like, for example, when Brian came out, I threw him in the machine. We were doing that sewer and that trench box, right? Brian's got a very good skill set. I've been around this stuff a long time. We were using an underpowered machine, and the only way to get this thing up as it was falling was to just grab it and pull it up into the bank and track out and throw it out the way instead of blowing up the gas line. You don't learn that stuff until it messes up. Like, I've had guys in the hole, and I've had the hydraulics where they start straining and then they're coming down pretty quick. So you don't learn this stuff just by going to a school, and you don't learn it just by watching either. Some of this stuff is puckering up the old butthole.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, as good as these videos are, you know, you're looking at pretty seasoned guys out there, and it does look really easy. There was huge learning curves on this stuff. You don't just grab a tree. I started cutting trees at 13 years old, right? So you can't just drive up with a tree shear and grab one of these things or grab an excavator thinking you could just manhandle it over without any common sense of being around this stuff. So, you know, you get guys that are out there just thinking that they could just go at it and wing it. And the end result is you look at the machine, you look at the pictures, right? We talk about things that happen and that make the news, stuff like that. You don't want to be those guys. And it just takes a lot of seat time, and it's the learning curve. So yeah, we've messed up a lot of shit. And when I was doing sewer back in the day, I've told Bryan, we had a clear ticket. Bryan was on the other job the other day, or last year, when we grabbed a hold of those electric lines. Totally not my fault or Bryan's. They totally
Totally mismarked them.
Mismarked it.
Totally mismarked them.
Well, a seasoned vet knows that I'm past there 4 feet. I could blow and go throw this pipe in. The last scoop, I hit the electric line, right? Wasn't my fault. Same scenario, fast forward 10, 12 years. I was installing some main line, had a clear ticket, guys. Passed everything, all the water main, gas, everything. We were starting the sewer main about 30 feet back before we actually did our tie-in. Had the clear ticket. What they didn't know was there was an existing water main that was old and abandoned, but it was still there. It didn't even show it on the prints. They knew about it, forgot to put it on the prints. I was going to town on a 345, and next thing I know, and we're blowing and going, man, putting the sewer and stuff in. I had ductile iron come through the cab, blew the rods off the pedal and out the window, and it was 6 inches away from killing. You don't learn that kind of learning curve. I was lucky to be there and still alive. But what you do learn is you start getting older with feeling what's in the ground. Like a good operator tell you, they hooked onto a gas line typically if they're not ripping stuff out. They could say, hey, there's a rocker. I'm feeling a little resistance in the hydraulic lines. I was 25 at that time running a crew, and we were going. Well, guess what? We ripped out a couple rocks. I pried so hard, which it don't take much with a 345.
Right.
I ripped that water main out and almost killed myself. Those are learning curves. This isn't stuff you just jump in and think you come out with just this phenomenal guy with the camera. So there's some close calls.
Yep. Dozer Dennis, if you can get your hands on a next gen 310, he'll come out and operate. Dozer Dennis.
Why would we have him come out when we want to play?
Well, I was gonna say you don't even have to we don't even wait for the excavator. Come out and play. We'd love to have you come and hang out and play.
Well, you're gonna have to stand in line though. We're gonna be fighting over number one operator in the seat first.
We'll just have a 3-way line that we're all gonna rotate through. We'll set the timer like I have to do with my kids.
Where's this conversation going?
I don't know.
All right.
It could get uncomfortable. We'll see.
Well, when we're just talking about a 3-way stuff in line.
You know what? We'll set a timer.
Well, I'm standing in the back of the whole line. No points taken.
We're just gonna move forward. All right.
But I mean, you could just turn it around and say the next gen hoe.
Yeah.
Right. So,
that's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Dan B, backhoe is better than literally anything, or should that be flipped? Anything is better than a backhoe. I don't know, Dan. I don't know where you're going with that one, because I totally disagree that a backhoe is better than literally anything. So I'm gonna guess you wrote that the wrong way. Let's see here. Jackson, Megatron was such a good wide receiver for the Lions.
He was. And Tate.
Yeah, I don't know any of this stuff because I don't care.
Yeah. He's a football fan. You know.
I know. I'm nothing against it.
It goes hand in hand.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It goes beer, operating equipment, and football. Like, this is the life of these guys. I get it.
That's true. Rick would like construction simulator. There you go.
I would like a construction simulator.
There, we'll have to download that and get you set up. Where is excavation the most? Where is excavation? I'm just gonna rephrase this to the way that it makes sense.
They would just want to know where the money's at.
Yeah, where's the money?
Excavation,
basement digging, utilities, etc.
Sewer line, water main, site development is where a lot of the money's at. It's smaller margins, but it's better margin.
Here's the real answer to that question.
It really depends where you're at.
It's whatever niche in the market that you carve out, that you specialize in, that you can get your costs down, you can get your productivity through the roof. So if that is utilities, you can make money there. If it's basements, you can make money there. If it's doing, site prep like we were talking about, there's money there. Forestry work, there's money there.
You got to be good.
You need to focus on an area, specialize, and get to where you can get really productive with not having a ton of cost.
Well, if you're going to run your numbers down low, you better be a phenomenal operator in a crew to make money on low numbers, right? You look at some of these guys that come in and you won't even compete with like CI contracting around here. They run their numbers low and they make money. They're a well-oiled machine. They got phenomenal top men, tail man, head man, operator, loader. They'll install pipe with a 4-man crew, right? They cut their costs, are good at what they're wanting. Bryan just hit it on the head. You gotta be unique and you gotta be who you are. There's money everywhere. Now, how are you gonna go about it? You can make money digging basements. You can make money driving truck. You can make money doing anything you want. And then you gotta also see what kind of niche market there is. Like, guys make money putting in silt fence, right? I don't make money putting in silt fence. I lose money if I put silt fence in. Why? Because my overhead's too high. Because I can't bring a guy into the job to put up silt fence, right? And then expect him to turn around and lay pipe. It's two different operators, two different kind of labors. I mean, you gotta be unique. You gotta find the market and do what's best for you. Because some guys ain't gonna specialize in utilities. There's a lot of stuff that comes to that game.
Yep.
Some guys, they don't want to sit there and dig basements. They're slow as molasses. If you're digging basements up here, like a 2,000 square foot basement, you better be digging 2 of them a day, or you're going to lose business to the next guy. Yep. It's how it is.
Yep. Gamer Gremlin, hello from Russia with love. Hey man, thanks for watching from Russia. That's awesome. Badass. Shane got to ride an IT-28 on 2 wheels for about 50 feet. You need a pry bar to get the seat out from under you. Now, my question is, which 2 wheels?
I'm thinking he was on a turn.
I'm hoping, because if you're going forward, like,
that ain't bad.
No, it's not bad. Like, yeah, pucker you a little bit.
And if you were back the other way, you were on the counterweight.
So really, turning. It's got to be turning.
Like, how fast were you going?
Or it could be the first time you do go up on the front 2 wheels. It does pucker you up.
Shane was carrying a manhole.
Yeah.
Got a little off balance.
That's true.
Yeah. Yep. What were you doing, Shane?
Yeah.
2 wheels.
Expound on that one.
And how far did you have to pry out of the old bundle?
Right. Ryan, sorry I'm late to the party. Car decided to overheat and puke its guts all over the side of the road. So that's a great start to the week. Dude, that sucks, man. But I am glad you were able to make it at least for a short little bit here. We're going to wrap up here in about 8-10 minutes. But I'm glad that you were able to come hang out. Hopefully we can give you a few chuckles and ease your mind over your car taking a shit on the side of the road. So, Jesus Rides, starting in a new company tomorrow. Went from running an old 627G scraper to running the new 627K scrapers.
Badass.
That's going to be badass from a comfort standpoint. I'm kind of wondering if from a power and production standpoint, if you might miss the old G series, just because the K has all of the emissions and they've been neutered. So I am curious, if you don't mind, keep us posted, whether you show up in another live stream or shoot me a message or an email. Keep me posted on what you think of the performance difference between the G and the K series.
When you talk about scrapers, some of the best scraper operators I ever seen, you wouldn't even want to be in a car.
No.
They're out of their mind, dude.
Yeah. Those are, I tell you what though, once you learn how to handle a scraper, they are a blast. Wouldn't want to do it for more than a couple days.
No.
Because it'll kill your back. But man, are they fun. You can dive off the steepest pile, and as long as you got that nose pointed down and you're angled the right way, you can just ride it. It's so much fun. Drop that bowl as a brake. It's so fun. Dennis, who has time to watch football when you can watch Diesel and Iron? That's right, Dennis. Appreciate that. Absolutely.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's some support there, buddy.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Brandon, we're gonna wrap up here in the next 5 to 10 minutes, buddy. Jackson, Rick, are you a metalhead? I feel like most people in construction are metalheads.
I believe it or not, no, I'm
You're
not.
country.
I listen to country all day long. Little twang. No, I listen to a lot of variety, but no, I'm not.
Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes
Backstreet Boys.
Well, yeah, Celine Dion.
Yeah,
like for some easy listening. You know what
Bryan
really
gets in like Elton John screaming. You know what I mean? Like
Yanni. Yanni is like, if you really want some Zen operating, throw on some Yanni. One man's dream. Oh, it's incredible.
Now I feel like you're rattling off all these things.
Oh yeah. Love it. Glad someone was worried about me. Yeah, we actually did discuss you, Ryan, there a little while back. Brandon especially. I think he's got a little thing for you. It's okay. We all know that's really who Brandon is. So it's not a big deal, but we're glad you're safe.
I feel like Brandon would be the guy that you would ship as a gift to somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Jackson, Bryan, you mentioned on the podcast that you want to do a big meetup of like of us from the chat. May I please come to the meet? Oh yeah, absolutely. So basically, what I'm kind of kicking around is maybe next fall, when everyone kind of tapers down. In the northern states, we taper down. In the southern states, it does slow up a little bit. But maybe next fall, early winter. Oh my gosh, that would hit me out of nowhere. I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened there.
It's getting cold.
Yeah, golly. Anyway, I'm thinking about calling up Randy over. He's got the Heavy Metal Learning channel here on YouTube. Randy and I communicated a little while back, so I've got a little bit of an in there. I'm thinking about calling him and seeing what it would take to rent his facility in Dallas, because his other facility is in Minnesota, and between you and me, I don't want to be in Minnesota in early winter, late fall. I'm sorry, I don't. We're gonna go south where it's warm. So we would rent out that facility and actually have all of the guys out and do like a 2-day weekend event where everyone would fly in. We could do some dig off style competitions. We could do a car smash, go have dinner all together, stuff like that. So that's kind of what we got in mind. I haven't even started the planning process on that, so this is an in theory thing for the moment. But
I like it. I like the theories.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
The theories.
So, Bacon, the best. What were you gonna say? I felt you swell up like you're gonna say something.
I was gonna say, and it was all paid for by Diesel and Iron, plane tickets, everything.
No. Oh. Not at all. Oh. Not at all. This is a bring your own self.
Like you stopped early. I thought you were gonna elaborate a little more, but you
BYOB, bring your own body. Wow. Now you gotta show up. You
bring your own body. Hotel. Screw the beer. It's the body.
But no, the goal is do kind of a group discount to where everyone's ultimately in it for a plane ticket and then $250. And then we can all go out there and spend 2 days, have a nice dinner and everything. So anyway, we'll see. Bacon, the best thing about country is that it doesn't sound any worse when you can barely hear it over the diesel. And there's Bacon's opinion on country. I tell you, the new country, I 100% agree with you. The new like pop country.
You into it, huh?
Oh, God, it's so bad. It's so bad. If I hear one more song about a solo cup, I'm gonna shoot myself. It's.
We've lost a lot of good artists.
Yes.
Are out there anymore.
Yep.
I was just listening to a guy the other day. I forget what TV show we were on, but he related himself to the greatest thing since Tupac, and I couldn't even understand a flipping word.
Oh yeah, we did listen. Yeah,
he was talking about maybe I'll be your baby daddy and something else.
Yep.
I'm like,
yeah,
not even close, dude. Like, no class, no nothing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shane, bucket was up, going backwards in a turn, almost flipped it on the foreman's truck. As for the front wheels, no big deal. I used a rock ditch on the front 2 wheels to reach the center of pipe. Yeah, so he was going sideways. So yeah, that'd pucker me up pretty good too.
Yeah,
I will 100% give you that seat probably needed a little reupholster after you were done with it.
Yeah.
Brandon, Rick, forgot to tell you your story about the crane in Colorado is my favorite story I've heard so far.
I don't know if I would say that's a favorite, but it's a story.
It's a story.
Hey, thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
All right.
Let's do 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes from this point. I'm giving you an bonus 10 minutes tonight.
Boner.
That is not what I said. Just to be clear.
For 10 minutes.
Woo! You know it's a problem when the car overheats and it's freezing outside. What? What did you say? We're gonna have to eat this up?
Yeah.
You don't follow that with a boner comment.
And we just been drinking water.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, check this out.
Isaac's still hanging strong.
You see? Well, yeah, we got Isaac too. Which, by the way, hi again, Isaac. M. Miller. That is Merrick, the guy that I went and ran the Lee Bear down in Ohio.
Oh.
So they finally got rid of the Lee Bear.
Good move.
And got
Good
the Case
move.
1150.
Yeah.
Whoa, my man. Got the 1150.
Tell you right now, you won't regret that.
That's
machine.
awesome. That's awesome. So now I am curious though, did you guys get to test out the Komatsu, and what did you think about that? I haven't talked to you guys since like last I heard, you guys were waiting on the Komatsu guys to get back with you. So let me know what you thought of the Komatsu.
They're going to have to get a hold of you and show them how to gear reduct that a little bit. The traction control feature, basically.
I walked them through. I think I walked them through that when they had it on demo. Yeah.
God, that's a bad pushing machine.
It's a nice
man.
machine. Yep. Let's see here. BYOB is bring your own Brandon. Actually, for Brandon, that's bring your own boa constrictor.
That's your fans only page that you showed me earlier?
He's the snake guy. He's the snake guy.
Brandon, you leave your boa constrictor at home.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, all of it.
Only show Bryan your boa constrictor.
Ryan, the sand playground would be the perfect place for a meetup. The trash talking would be. Oh, the trash talking is going to be so. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be glorious. It's going to be so much fun.
You know what the sad thing is, though? They're not going to have any real equipment there like Case. Saying.
I agree. But they will have a Komatsu dozer.
Someone's going to finish second place.
Yeah, so we're going to have some. We're not going to just do dig offs. This is going to be like, we're going to have some dozer finish grade competitions, some hogging. Like, we could do some fun stuff. Jackson, yes, I don't come cheap. I expect my plane ticket, food, and hotel to be paid for. Whew, getting a little rich for my blood.
You're going to have to look at some resources there, Jackson, at home.
I expect you to come out,
Friends,
Jackson,
family,
and
relatives.
you better sing in every piece of equipment out on that job. Oh,
he's setting the bar high.
that's right.
Yeah.
And he said he'd bring his snake and his fishnets. And Bryan just said we only need one Brandon. The thought of any more is terrifying. 100%.
At least they'll stand out.
Let's see here. I'm not going to come at any of the classics. Now, hang on now, Bacon. I'm not going to come at any of the classics, though. Not all country is good, but it's better than new. What?
There's websites for that kind of dirty talk.
I'm just saying, I've always had my speculations about the country listening crowd, but I think we're being confirmed by Bacon here.
Yeah, he says I'm not going to come. Pause.
At any of the country classics.
You should talk to Brandon.
I just envisioned him on some country back road in his like flannel shirt, just going to town with Luke Bryan.
Beating the mound.
Hey, I'm Luke Bryan. This is terrible. I'm sorry. We're really devolving.
We gotta wrap this up, dude. We gotta wrap this.
Yeah,
up.
we're
out of control.
We're 5 to 8 minutes somewhere in there.
You're about to start a website you don't even know.
Yeah, I know. Let's see here. Boom, dude. Lots of inappropriate comments going on. The 10 minutes gives a chance to get going here. Yep, that's it. If they had a 3-stick case tractor loader backhoe, I'd love to be showing everyone. Dang, you would show everyone up.
I couldn't even run a 3-stick case.
I'm telling you, I got in one and fooled around, and I wasn't pretty at it. But I will say I did like the fact that you had so much control because you've got each function on its own stick.
No.
Rick's not
control.
Rick likes his pilot. I do like pilots, but I don't know. It was nice. All right, let's see here. Merrick, we only got it. Let's see here. Let me try that again. We got it only from a money and service standpoint. Love the Komatsu 51, but just from a money standpoint, we went with the case. I'm telling you, the Komatsu was a nice machine, but I'm glad that you guys. The 1150 is a solid machine. It really is. It's going to be a good machine for you guys. It better be a good machine with how much I've been putting my weight behind it.
No, they're phenomenal.
They are. They're really good machines.
They push.
So, not as nice as that Lee Bear was, but I can guarantee you the case is not going to break to the extent that
the
Lee Bear
felt like
did.
he upgraded. He
So,
upgraded because
in a lot of ways he did.
There's no downtime, hardly.
Well, that's the biggest upgrade right there.
Yeah.
So, but that Lee Bear was smooth. That was probably one of the smoothest machines I've run.
It's probably smooth sitting there broke down.
Oh, it is. That's when it's standing still. You can't hardly feel any vibration.
Saving money, weren't you?
That's right.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, Merrick. I'm sorry. We're gonna pop some jokes at your at your expense here. Ryan, hopefully you can get some sponsors before the meetup and maybe get some equipment demos. We'll see. So that's actually a really good thought. The question is, will Randy allow non-Komatsu equipment on his facility? And most likely the answer is no, because the way Randy gets his equipment is he's got to deal with Komatsu. So we will see. Yes. And then we peter out. You guys have totally left me hanging here, and we supposedly have 5 minutes, so we're just gonna right there, guys. Thanks for hanging out on the live stream. We appreciate you guys. This has been a fun one. Next week, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may reach out to some of you guys and see if one of you guys want to do a Skype call or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out for next week, or it might just be me. I don't know. We'll see. So, but you guys have a good night. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you guys on the next live stream.
Thanks, guys.